It's a story that's intrigued onlookers, but is also posing legal and moral questions. I'm referring to the two North Koreans who were deported by South Korea last week after confessing to killing 16 fellow North Koreans on their fishing boat before arriving in the South. But there's more to it than that. South Korea normally welcomes North Koreans willingly seeking to defect. Over 30,000 have been accepted by the South. Yet the case of these two men in their 20s who were sent back to the North last Thursday was the first deportation of its kind from South Korea. According to Seoul, they were deported 5 days after being captured to the east of the peninsula. They confessed to killing the captain of their fishing boat with a third person in late October due to abuse, before killing the rest of their crew. Apparently, they tried to return to the North, but that third person was captured, leading the other two to flee south. It then took a couple of days for the South Korean Navy to capture them. There are two main reasons why Seoul then deported the men rather than the usual course of events when North Koreans say they want to stay. Firstly, as South Korea's Unification Ministry explained, it was determined they could pose a threat to South Koreans. Second, they were seen as criminals on the run rather than sincere escapees seeking refuge. Critics have been quick to point out various problems. They claim South Korea has accepted and punished North Korean criminals within the South in the past. Officially, Seoul regards North Korea as its own territory, and the Supreme Court previously ruled North Koreans should be considered South Korean citizens. Instead, these men are thought to be heading back to likely torture and perhaps worse in the North. Another criticism is how fast Seoul reached its decision, announcing the deportation only after the event. The confessions themselves have come into question, like how did just 3 people kill 16 others on a 17-ton small wooden vessel only about 15 meters long, armed with just an axe and 2 hammers, which were thrown overboard along with the bodies? You'd think they would have to be trained killers, and apparently aside from the confessions, there were only traces of evidence. It's as if the rush was down to Seoul trying to avoid a diplomatic problem with Pyongyang when things are already tense. It seems impossible to reverse what's happened for now, but at the very least, Seoul is under global pressure to be more transparent and to lay out clearly its policy for any similar cases in the future.